I dreamt for so long. My flesh was dull gold, and my blood rotted. Corpse after corpse left in my wake. As I awaited his return. Heed my words. I am Miquella, Blade of Miquella. And I have never known defeat.
Not bad, not bad.
Nothing has more fear than a person who knows that they're supremely screwed. Malenia. Known to many as the hardest Elden Ring boss, as well as one of the hardest Soulsborne bosses to date, this fight hurt my very soul deep down. The non-stop slashing, the endless movement, the freaking skewering, the almighty waterfowl dance. Ugh. For the entire playthrough of this game, I have had this fight on my mind non-stop. I knew that this was going to be the breaking point of the entire run. This is a phrase that haunts me deep down. The somber music stains my mind with each hearing. One thing was clear, I wasn't strong enough just yet. So, I moved on for now. I had to dig deep and get to an area for late game grinding. I needed to get to Mohgwyn Palace. After having our butts thoroughly ravaged and our chests busted open many times, we head back to the Consecrated Fields and run past some large ghostly figures who want us to join them in the afterlife. We run up some large ice shards and give a bear a love tap, turns out they don't like that, and follow us down a cliff. We rest atop an ice shard and discover that someone nut on some red rocks to challenge us to a big sword contest. Minutes go by and we still haven't seen our invader, and we sneak away from the bear for now. Out of nowhere, a figure appears and scares us so much that we end up fainting at the very sight. We awaken back at the site of grace and find that we were robbed. We head back to the cliff and thankfully they nut on some more red rocks. This time we spot them right away and get trolled by the game after we lose connection to the server and have to restart yet again. We come back and whip out our mighty dong and they faint at the very sight. We make our way back to the cliffside and discover a rock that's been drenched in sriracha and touch it in hopes that we can at least withstand basic tableside pepper as a spice. We awaken in a cave and finally get to Mohgwyn Palace. We fall down some rocks and reach a new site of grace. We stay a while and commit unsanctioned murder for a couple of minutes. We find ourselves in a lake of ketchup and get bullied into a cave, grab some runes, and pick up a few flowers on the way to help microwave our candy into submission. Along the way, we discover that someone nut on some red rocks and challenged us to a big sword contest. We whip out our mighty dong and they faint at the very sight of it. We grab a golden seed and pick up some more items before discovering that the same person nut on some more red rocks to rematch us to a big sword contest. We whip out our mighty dong again and they faint at the very sight. We pass some ghosts firing their lasers and pick up a few more flowers before making it to a new site of grace. We pass some friendly locals who want us to join a sriracha mayo eating contest and interrupt some Solaire worshippers before heading into a dark cave. We grab some money and rest at a new site of grace. We head up some stairs and ride an elevator before entering a big arena.
Miquella. You must abide alone a while. Welcome, honored guest, to the birthplace of our dynasty.
Turns out David, the HOA manager, is not a fan of visitors, so we go in a few more times and get stabbed a few more times. Angry at the thought of being denied another great rune, we eat some candy for assistance but still get subdued for home invasion. Frustrated with all the dying, we commit genocide of the locals to spite our friendly David. We head back to the palace and interrupt some Solaire worshippers, but this time they retaliate against our blasphemy. We kill them all for not believing in our god and steal a rock from a chest that we found. We head into a cave and get a big flower so we can give it to David as compensation for the damages we caused. He quickly subdues us for home invasion. We cause more genocide for a couple of hours and raise money for our late and frankly very large HOA fees. We die a few more times to David, the HOA manager, and actually killed him during one of the attempts but also died, as a reminder that we're still playing Dark Souls. Frustrated at the thought of being denied, we head back in only to be subdued for home invasion once more. And again, and again, and again.
dynasty. The coming of our dynasty. Mohgwyn.
This one was a long one, and it took me over 10 attempts to finally beat. As celebration, we head to the Halig tree and say hello to our friend Malenia, who quickly subdues us for home invasion. And rather gracefully, I may add. Frustrated at the thought of being denied, we head back to Mohgwyn and commit more genocide to raise more money for our HOA fees. We die once more to Malenia and realize that we're still not strong enough, so we head back to the mountaintops and make our way to a new site of grace. We make our way across a smaller chain bridge to bully the local blacksmith for not making this challenge easy for us.
Run.
You're ugly, you are disgusting, I'm going to kill you, give me $200.
They see me rolling, they hating.
Fire!
We subdued the giant for harassment and rest at a new site of grace. We climb up the massive ramen bowl and along the rim to a new site of grace. Our girl Melina tells us that most people jump into the bowl their first time, and that she has the birthday candle we need to get inside the treehouse. Unfortunately, she drops it and makes herself a candle before burning the treehouse down. She sends us away to find a new great room, but accidentally sends us to Tornado Alley as a punishment for being a bad boyfriend. We make our way down a bridge and past some wolfmen who remind us that we're still playing Dark Souls. We run across a large bridge and are greeted by the locals who try to kill us for trespassing. We find a new site of grace and loot some graves because we're desperate for rocks before interrupting a church ceremony to a new site of grace. We make our way down some rocks and past a few dogman skeletons before reaching a third site of grace. We head down the hall and past some guards and jump into a large room. Turns out our girl Melina sent us to purgatory because somehow we meet up with the fellas that we murdered earlier in the run. They quickly subdue us for murder. Frustrated at the thought of being denied, we head back to a divine tower and discover that someone left their fingers in the sand and a new great rune was activated. We head to the golden clubhouse and discover that it is now on fire, and the locals tell us to go away for being a butthole. We head to hell in search of a talisman that'll help us raise more money for our HOA fees. We loot some graves because we're desperate for runes, and make our way towards the cliffside. We head across some dead trees and into a cave where we can find a new site of grace. We head down and through some diarrhea water until we find the end of the cave. We enter the area and find some enemies taking a bath before quickly subduing them and stealing their money. We find a golden bug and head back to Mohgwyn Palace to commit some more genocide. After grinding for what feels like days at this point, we head back to Tornado Alley and try to force our lad Chad to pass into the next life. Unfortunately, I failed and they quickly subdue us for home invasion. We awaken in hell and head across a vast desert and find a door on the cliffside. We open the doors and make our way to a new site of grace. We fall down an area and pick up a flower and loot some dead bodies because they won't be needing them anymore. We head to the round table hold and ask a woman to microwave our candy a little bit to soften them up a little bit.